Time travel, you never know. Even with Roshan bugging out, top 5 still able to take the win. Now we're getting into game 2 here, and we have a draft as well, so let's talk about it. Razor, Centaur, Warrunner, Ancient Apparition being picked up by the Thundercats, Brewmaster, Shadow Shaman, and the Jakiro. Going to be 3 here for top 5. So once again, we're going to be seeing top 5 go for some early push. They may not have the Death Prophet, as that was banned away by Thundercats, but they will be still trying to go for push out of their 2 supports, the Shadow Shaman and the Jakiro, being able to provide a lot more. Combine that with the Brewmaster's initiation and able to force team fights. And able to force team fights and just turn that into team fights into towers. Top 5 could be looking at a very, very early advantage here, but it's not like Thundercats are going to be rolling over anytime soon. They've got themselves the Razor, Centaur, both who are really, really good mid-game oriented team fighters, and with the Ancient Apparition maybe being able to pick up an Ice Blast, they are going to be a tough opponent to beat. Thundercats did ban away both the Furion and the Naga Siren. Surprisingly enough, I like the fact they banned away the Naga Siren. Didn't work out for them in game number 1, so I guess they're just going to ban it away entirely, while we have the Skywrath Mage as well as the Invoker banned out by top 5. Every bit of extra time here is being used by top 5 on this 4th pick, as I have to actually look just to make sure that top 5 are actually still in the game.
Dire team pick.
And didn't remake for whatever reason. Puck is going to be the pickup here, and top 5, I guess an off-lane Puck for them. Nice little initiator. Again, the double initiation between the Brewmaster as well as the Puck is going to give them a pretty big advantage when it comes to forcing these team fights. Thundercats go really greedy on their double supports, though. The Ancient Apparition is already, I would say, a pretty greedy support, can be definitely exploited in the laning phase. And with the Sand King being picked up as well. He's a hero that isn't really able to give you that much early laning presence. The Burrow Strike can be okay if you're able to get boots first, but level 1 and even level 2 of the Burrow Strike is such low range that it's that Sand King is easily surpassed by many of the supports. But if he's able to get a free jungle, stack that up, and Sandstorm farm it, he can get himself a pretty fast Blink Dagger, and between him and the Centaur, they'll have some good mid-game oriented team fight as well. But the problem is they're more reliant on the Blink Dagger. Like the Centaur, if he's an offlane here, is not guaranteed to have a very fast Blink Dagger. Same goes with the Sand King as a support, while the Brewmaster should be guaranteed a Blink Dagger. I mean, if he's farming up the mid lane, there should be no issues with that whatsoever.
10 seconds remaining.
Top 5 could still go for a 1-position Brewmaster and a mid Puck, but I really doubt that. I'm thinking this is going to be an offlane Puck, and sure enough, that would be proven by Weaver being the last pickup now by top 5. Wraith King is going to be the immediate counter by Thundercats. No time whatsoever being used to think about the fact that they are going to be dealing with the Weaver. I really like top 5's lineup much more now. I feel that Weaver, like, what is the Weaver really going to be shut down by? The Burrow Strike is dangerous. The Centaur Stun is, I would rather have the Line Stud of the Sand King. I feel that's the more dangerous stun than the Centaur's Hoof Stomp. Then you have this Missile Stun from the Wraith King, which is dodged by the Shikuchi. Ancient Apparition has no disables against the Weaver, and neither does the Razor. So I feel like the Weaver was a really great pickup, and the Puck as well is going to be having a pretty good time against many of these. And if the Sand King does not pick up a fast Blink Dagger, I actually do not see how Thundercats can win this game, just because the lack of ability for them to hold down these very mobile heroes. I don't see how they're going to be able to do it. I mean, granted, there's always mistakes, but ideally, at the top level of play, I really don't think the Puck or Weaver should have many issues with this Thundercats lineup. Thundercats, I think, have to be a bit more on the aggressive, but at the same time are not going to be dominating the laning phase, which is, if you're so dependent on being able to have a very good mid game and get farm on your supports during the laning phase, but not being able to have very active supports to be able to ensure you win the laning phase. I mean, this current meta is all about the rotations from the supports and establishing your dominance very early on. You could see Top 5 currently having a discussion about what they want to do with their level 1 movement. Fly was drawing on the board earlier. It looks like they may be going for a smoke ink here in the beginning of the game. So they planned this one out. Defensive tri-lane, mid-razor, and the off-lane centaur for them. I doubt we're going to be seeing an aggro try from Top 5. More likely they're just going to be trying to set up an early reward for the off-lane puck. Nope, they actually do go for the full-out smoke. So let's see what they can catch here. It's going to be reliant on the Shadow Shaman to be the frontline hero, and that's really not a good disable for First Blood ganks. It's kind of what I don't like about this smoke attempt, as the Sand King is going to have plenty of opportunity to see what's about to happen to him. And Sailing reacts just in time. The orb's going to come out. Ice Path misses, and whoa, puck there. And it really wasn't where he wanted to go. If he was stunned up by the Sand King, I think he would have died there. Sailing just staying one step ahead, but you saw how slow he was to react, and our Shadow Shaman still couldn't get in range for the shackles. Still going to be able to lay down some early wards, as not too sure what that ward's all about.
The battle begins.
What? Whoa. What the hell?
Illusion.
What the hell is this counter ward for? I guess they maybe thought Sailing was going to Sandstorm, but they didn't even get in range of, like, any disables. Sailing actually went for the Burrow Strike level 1, so I guess that's what that was used for. Meanwhile, the other counter is going to be used to block out this pull. They don't actually block any other camps there. So the Sand King can still farm, stack this hard camp up if he wants to. Our mid lane matchup is going to be the Razor versus the Brewmaster. And you can tell just in the first 30 seconds how this matchup does go for the Brewmaster. Razor is going to exploit it. It's a melee hero versus a Razor. Pretty easy. Top lane looks like they caught out with the Burrow Strike. Puck is probably going to be going down here as he could not jump to the orb in time. And Sailing will be picking up that first blood. Really cannot afford to be getting caught out by a Sand King like that with a puck. I mean, if you just sit yourself on the side of this lane, how can a Sand King actually catch you out in any rotations? Like, it's very obvious. Even with boots first, at the very least, you should be able to throw out an orb and dodge him that way if you're forced to do anything at all. So that was a pretty critical mistake there from Bian, who is going to be playing the offlane here, by the way. He was playing support Skywrath Mage, I believe, last game. Guanzo, meanwhile, has a lot more dangerous lane with the Shadow Shaman being here. He is going to be caught out by the Shackles, and mercy, please. Unfortunately, due to his attempt at that first blood gank, and it actually screws out the Jakiro of a lot of early damages, he went for the Ice Path. Once you have the puck being able to have the phase shift, though, this lane, again, I feel like the lane he shouldn't have died at the beginning, but once he has phase shift, it makes it even easier. As again, just being able to dodge the Wraith King stun is fairly easy. Guanzo's going to find himself a haste rune, and he may use it to try and rotate around behind the middle lane, or just put some pressure on this bottom lane. You can see him going in for mercy, please. Takes a liquid fire to the face for his trouble. And Sailing has actually already got himself to level 3, so if he starts stacking up this camp, he can actually farm it up with the early level 2 Sandstorm. I'm honestly surprised that they're not actually trying to do that. If you wanted to try and kill the puck and put more pressure on the puck, I would have assumed that you would actually go for level 2 Burrow Strike and get that level 2 Burrow Strike and get that 100 range. It's unlikely the puck to be able to phase shift that. So if you actually get that initiation and the Wraith King's nearby to be able to chain that stun. Otherwise, if you go to the Sandstorm level 2, just make a full commitment to stacking up and farming. Mid lane, 16-3 on reality, while the Brewmaster is sitting at 7-1. Pretty rough lane for him so far. And it's going to continue to be really rough. Every single time he comes forward, Razor will just deal like a minimum of 28 to 36 damage. Pat Soul is going to be free farming this bottom lane, so that is the one big upside here for top 5, is that Weaver free farming. See whether or not he goes for the more aggressive build that we've been seeing in Weavers lately, or if he goes for the traditional Lincolns into X. Maybe a Desolator. Probably a Desolator. Honestly, Wraith King doesn't start out with very much armor, so. Fly, unfortunately for him, he wanted to be able to maybe refill his bottle, but Razor's going to be forcing him to just use the Invis outright. Sandstorm farming. Puck does know exactly what's happening, though, and is going to try and intercept some of these last hits. He's in a very risky position, though. He's going to use the orb, claims 2 of the last hits, jumps himself to the side. He now has no orb, where the Razor's going to be able to catch him out, and with a couple right clicks, he just ends up feeding away a kill. So yeah, sure, he took away some of those last hits away from Zaylin, but pretty sure Zaylin doesn't care. You just fed the Razor. Fly now being forced to use Clap just to be able to pick up last hits, as his damage is so weak, he's being out last hit by a range creep. The idea of leveling the Drunken Haze, I'm not too sure about that one. If you went for a 3-1-1 build, I'd be okay with it, but the extra level in Drunken Haze, totally disagree with. I'm not even sure if I agree with you going a level in Drunken Haze against this matchup. I know it helps against the Razor, and I do agree with him going it in general. Not quite so sure about the extra level. That might have been a misclick. Certainly hasn't slowed down the Razor. He's only sitting at 26-4. So that 55% miss chance is still, Razor's still very far ahead. Mid lane, Brewmaster Ultimate is actually going to be popped here. If they can get a kill in reality, it would be big. Throwing him up in the air. That support not going to do much for them, but they're unable to get the additional kill as the stun is just not up. Really felt like maybe that Cyclone should have been used on reality, and then regrouping the Pandas again. Bottom lane, double damage Jakiro will force back Lonzo, who's currently sitting at level 3, so the Puck doing a lot better in lane than this Centaur. Can't say I'm really too surprised, though, as again, I'm not sure what an Ancient Apparition Wraith King can really do to a Puck. So he's practically just 1v1 up against the Wraith King at this point. Meanwhile, again, this tri-lane is pretty dangerous. I mean, the harassiveness of the Jakiro mixed in with the long disables of Shadow Shaman. And Weaver is nothing to smirk at when it comes to laning phase. Swarm catches out one creep. Successful grab on creep. Mid lane, again, Fly's going to be forced back. Reality trying to go in for that kill, but not quite enough damage to be able to finish him off. And he could have pursued for extra damage there, but with the Drunken Haze, he decides against trying to dive into the tower like that. Tier 1 tower is going to go down to the bottom lane. Guanzo trying to shape himself up for a deny, but with the very smart play from the Shadow Shaman who runs forward and hexes up that Centaur just to make sure that he doesn't have that opportunity. Wraith King is going to be going for a Hannah Minus build. I like this build quite a bit on this one position Wraith King. I think he just simply needs to be so ahead of the Weaver in farm that they just win 5-man engagements outright. Since they don't necessarily have the pick-off abilities to be able to hold the Weaver in, they just need such amazing team fight that when they 5-man into these Tier 1 and Tier 2s, Weaver just cannot stand against them. And part of that is going to be coming from the Wraith King having a gold lead on this Weaver. But right now, he's not actually ahead. The Weaver, thanks to that Tier 1 tower going down and a Hannah Midas of his own, is going to be either keeping in pace or staying ahead of the Wraith King at this rate. Blink Dagger is going to be up soon for our Brewmaster. That'll give him a lot more opportunities to try and initiate and shut down this Razor. Even though he's not that far behind when you look at the net worth board. I mean, only 600 gold, roughly. It's not too bad. Blink Dagger now being picked up by the Sand King, and 9-minute Blink Dagger. That's the power of the Sand King, who even spent the first 2 or 3 minutes just shutting down the puck. Granted, he was fed a first blood kill, and that obviously really boosts your experience and your gold by quite a lot. But still, very impressive he managed to pick up a Blink Dagger this early into the game. Even before he picks up level 6. The support's leaving Pat Soul to 1v1 up against the Centaur. Centaur should be able to get himself a Blink Dagger, and maybe they can pick off the Weaver a few times before this Midas really starts getting out of hand. Shadow Shaman's just going to focus on, well, he doesn't have any tangos to cut through these trees, so he's just going to do a single pull for now, which does get him to level 5. Not quite so sure about him actually pushing out the lane due to a single pull. Looks like he does want to wrap around behind the Centaur with this push, and this is usually a good idea, but it usually only works when you have a tier 1 tower up. With a tier 2, with the tier 1 being down, Guanzo will probably sit a lot farther back and just let the creep wave run into him. If he's smart, he'll just sit next to this tier 2 and won't be caught out. An Invis, though, for the Shadow Shaman is a great way to start this gank, that's for sure. And we do have a rotation in from Salen, who has a Blink Dagger, as well as his ultimate. They're going to start going in. Epicenter being channeled. He's going to go and pop the Shadow Shaman real quick. No, he goes for the, beautiful. He goes for the Weaver instead. The higher priority kill. Thought he was naturally going to go for the Shadow Shaman since it's the hero that was disabling up the Centaur, but much better idea for him to get that critical Weaver kill as he was top of the net worth. But maybe losing that level 1 spot, that number 1 spot, thanks to bottom lane. Oh, jump in from the Brewmaster is going to be able to finish off the Centaur there. Salen, though, will gladly clean up some of the creeps that are being pushed in. Top lane Blink Dagger for the puck is coming up soon. It's going to be here before the Blink Dagger on the Centaur, so pretty good timing for him. I even like the early dust he got just to make sure he can kill the Sand King inside of this Sandstorm when possible. Prioritizing some levels on the Jakiro makes a lot of sense as you're so dependent on being able to have that maxed out liquid fire for pushing down many of these towers. Same goes with the Shadow Shaman. Oh no, BN! He's still going to be able to dodge it, and he probably will still live. Yeah, he's definitely going to live. Mid lane, Centaur initiating with the Stampede. They're already getting off a lot here. Oh, stop. Really going to miss there, but Mercy Please will still go down as Reality finishes off with the Plasma Field. Both teams are putting a lot of extra time with the laning phase into some of their supports or their offlaners, making sure they get some of those critical items. For example, the Ancient Apparition getting Ice Blast fairly early on, the Jakiro being prioritized earlier. Kind of need the Shadow Shaman to be level 6 as well to really get this push squad going. But once they have level 7 on Jakiro, level 6 on the Shadow Shaman, I see really nothing stopping them from four-manning a fight off with the Brewmaster and his Blink and Ultimate, and turning, hopefully, that one team fight into a tower. All the meanwhile, the Weaver can just relax and split push. There goes the Blink Dagger for the Centaur. Salen's going to rotate up to this top lane. Looks like he wants to get a kill on the puck. And if this puck is anywhere near the Wraith King, oh, especially right now when the orb is down, this is the perfect time for them to go. Wraith King stun will be dodged just in time by BN, and he might be able to get out because of that. Another orb is up in a second. Salen won't be able to get there in time, and especially with the Blink Dagger being picked up, he will be fine. So DK a little bit slow on the Wraithfire Blast stun. If they chain stun that one up, I think they would have gotten the kill on the puck. Razor may be building into a BKB or a Aghanims. I honestly would be fine with the BKB build here. But at the same time, I think the Aghanims is necessary for them to be able to lay down pressure on some of these early towers. Mercy, please! It doesn't help. His name does not prevent him from going down, and the Brewmaster Ultimate even being used to try and save the Jakiro. And they don't even get that much. Serpent Ward's going to be laid down in this middle tier 1 tower, but with Jakiro already out, I'm very surprised they're actually trying to force this. Serpent Ward's easy as pie. Thundercats will just clean it up. That was not the first round of wards you wanted to be seeing from the Shadow Shaman. He just gave 300 gold to the enemy team. Yeah. It ain't great. Alright, not 300 gold, but how many Serpent Wards is it? It's like 9, right? 10 Serpent Wards? Okay, so it's like 250 to 300 gold. Arcane boots up on the Sand King, and he's actually very, very farmed now. This was necessary, right? Thundercats had to have this kind of start on the Sand King if they wanted to be able to A, win some of the mid-game engagements here for top 5, and B, shut down this this Weaver, who is going to be going for a Linken's build, which is fine. And here comes this 4-manning. They may not have the Serpent Wards, but they still have the Liquid Fire. If they can get this pick off in the Razor, look how high level Razor this is, though. He's level 11, soon to be level 12.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
How do you push into this tower, though, with the double blink daggers? I mean, both the Centaur as well as the Sand King have such a high impact in these early engagements when they have these really quick blink daggers. I'm not sure how you actually push in successfully without fearing the fact that you're going to get turned around on. Bottom lane, Silent runs into 2 there, gets the double burst strike, double hoof stomp, double ice blast, and double kill for Silent. Even committing the epicenter just to make sure they do go down. Fly tries to blink himself in, but a quick return blink there from the Sand King will get himself away. Reality finds himself a haste rune. So 1-7, despite the fact that I was really siding with top 5's draft a lot more, and I think Thundercats, or excuse me, top 5 still have some room to make this back into this game. Thundercats are having a really, really good start, and this kind of start on their draft was required. Reality, yep, gotta check those bottles before you jump in on heroes. Beon's gonna be picked off now. Pat Soul, Ice Blast hits on him, and almost losing his life, gets off the ultimate. Now gonna turn on Salen, will be able to finish him off there. Thanks to the Puck's dust, they get that Sand King kill. So well done by Puck, trading him his own life away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Serpent Wards will be laid down once again. This time the Glyph comes out. Reality with that haste rune will start beating through some of these wards whenever he can. And here comes the Wraith King. His initiation, Radiant's first Wraith King. Holy crap, didn't even notice that. DK is figuring, I've got so much farm. And I think this is the kind of build you kind of have to have against a Weaver when you don't actually have a lineup that can necessarily lock down a mid-game Weaver, like a Weaver that has the Linken's and able to do a good amount of damage. Gets caught out by the hoof stomp. Pat Soul gets off the ultimate, though, and once again, he may be threatened, but not quite down and out. The Radiance, though, I mean, the Weaver comes forward and is taking that burn. Just by itself, that's going to be pretty threatening in these team fights for him. Throw down some AoE damage, like an Epicenter, or, you know, maybe a line stun that's going to be able to hit Pat Soul with a follow-up hoof stomp at the double edge. Yeah, they got the burst damage. And unfortunately, this Weaver, they're doing an excellent job on the side of Thundercats, shutting him down because it doesn't look like he's going to be able to pick up the Linken's. The Linken's was essential, right? If he has the Linken's, none of these things happen. If he never gets the Linken's, yeah, these double blink daggers are just going to wreck face. Wonder what the plan is here for Thundercats. Like, with a Radiance build Wraith King, a build that we rarely see, what's your timing to push in? Do you try and farm up a little bit more in your Wraith King? Go for Blink Dagger still? Wanzo is going to be hexed up. Shackled Ball, but the initiation there from Salen will be able to pop. Nice teleport away. Salen's still going to be caught out by the stun from the Brewmaster, and they should be able to get a 2-for-1 trade here. Salen looking to Bro Strike away, but won't be able to make it.
Radiant's middle tower
And they
is
may
under
lose a
attack.
Shadow Shaman, but they get 2 pretty high-profile kills in return. Bian's going to go for Phase Boots here on his puck. So a little bit of extra attack damage for him, I guess.
Radiant's top tower is under
Meanwhile, their
attack.
top lane, I mean, who's going to deal with this Wraith
Dire's
King?
bottom tower is under attack.
I think at the very least you finish up level 3 in your reincarnation for the Wraith King before you go for true 5-man. But at the rate of this Midas and the way he's farming, he's going to have a pretty fast level 3 reincarnation. And then they just like man mode it, right? They just like, what? 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 What do you mean he's got to restart his computer? God Lord. I'm going to cry. Okay. We can do this. Deep breath. Deep breath. It's not actually a pause. Ignore that message in the middle. It's just time is frozen for you. Think of it as an opportunity, not a detriment to the cast. So BKB was finished up by Reality. We have an Aghanims build for the Brewmaster, though he's halfway to it. Thundercats certainly have a lot more higher impact items, and I think they can. Again, maybe wait for the level 3 reincarnation. I'm not sure if DK is going to choose to go for a Blink Dagger here. I mean, I still think it's valuable since you have the double melee initiators between the Sand King as well as the Centaur. Having a third stun to be able to combine with those heroes with a Blink Dagger initiation means that this Weaver is going to be very, very scared constantly. So I would still like to see that for him. I don't think there's much chance, especially since the Weaver is really dropping off now. I mean, he's going for the Lincoln's build. He's going for the Lincoln's build, but you're getting to the point where even once you finish up the Lincolns, you still are just not a factor in these team fights. Fly comes in and gives the tower a quick spanking. And then just blinks himself away from the Razor. Not sure what that was about, but fair enough. Backdooring these tier 1 towers, honestly, is not a bad idea.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Seeing as I'm not sure Thundercats are going to let you have them if you go for a traditional push. Meanwhile, this bottom tier 1 tower, they can put a stop to this one. I think they have to go for a trade at this point. Unfortunately for them, this trade is going to be a little bit hesitant. Between the Plasma Field and the Ice Blast, they got to be a bit scared. Guanzo is going to be hexed up here in the top lane. Shackled up as well, outside of the ward vision though, and that means the Shadow Shaman will be losing his life with the extra damage of Ice Vortex as well. At least they claim the middle tier 1 tower, even if the rotations does shut down the top tier 1 push. So tier 1 for tier 1, I think that's pretty favorable for top 5, solely because of the fact they cannot fight that bottom engagement. They can't save that tower. There's no way possible.
Dire's middle tower is
So
under
better
attack.
just stay away from Thundercats while they have this Radiance. And Blink Dagger for the Wraith King. Nice. Lincoln's finished up by the Weaver. I think you got everything you need. It's time to 5-ban for TC. I don't think waiting for the reincarnation is necessary just because I don't feel the Wraith King. Like, Wraith King can be a squishy support sometimes. I mean, if you look at him right now, thanks to his high amount of levels, he's got a decent amount of strength on him. Chrysalid is going to be caught out by the 2 here in the top lane. But if you look at this Wraith King, the only reason he's decently tanky is purely through levels right now. He actually doesn't have much armor. He doesn't have a whole lot of HP. So he's decently squishy. The problem is, you don't have an amazing amount of damage on the side of top 5. It's mainly coming out from the Brewmaster as well as the puck. The supports lend in some small amount of nuke damage. The Aether Shock is something. The Jakiro's damage is a bit less to get all hyped about, but it's still there. But it mainly just comes down to the Weaver just really not being that threatening in team fights. So I don't think there's much of a chance that Wraith King is popped 2 times in a row in these team fights. And if he is, he will probably last long enough that the Radiance Burn does so much more than they're expecting. BN was looking for the Sand King there, was unable to find him. Meanwhile, we have Rosha, who's going to be taken out by Reality and DK. Combined forces. This should be an Aegis for Reality, and especially since we only almost have a level 3 reincarnation here for Wraith King. Not necessary for him. Wrap around behind Salen, maybe caught out here, blinks to the right side. Double dust being used as well. That's 180 gold down the drain for a gank that failed completely. And Thundercats just playing this a lot better, I feel, than they did in Game 1. Weaver is beginning to get some farm, though. He's got 2k gold on him. Once he has a Desolator, he becomes a lot more threatening and a lot more active in team fights. 10,000 gold lead right now for Thundercats, a 10,000 experience lead as well. I am getting a little bit anxious, just like I was in Game 1. I was anxious for top 5 to push. They decided to go for the late game, and they did win. So I will refrain from getting too anxious for TC to push, though I really do believe they should be trying it out soon. Salen forced to burrow strike himself into the trees to defend himself against Fly. Hey, a full-up Aghanims is up for the Brewmaster. Much faster than the Brewmaster in Game 1, that's for sure. I mean, they do have certain late-game items like level 3 ultimates are both important for the Razor as well as the Wraith King. DK is going to be gone on here in the bottom lane. They need some rotation. Ice Blast is going to come in. And with the Brewmaster ultimate, there goes the quick blink away, and DK will be fine. That was still a level 3 ultimate, though, so his reincarnation is going to be up here in a very short amount of time. Like how he leaves the other pandas back here to do battle. Oh, Patso. Stun is going to miss. Shikuchi goes down. And Salen, that was kind of on him. He needed to be close enough to be able to hit that Burrow Strike stun. Yule Scepter going to be picked up by Mercy Please as his next item. And yeah, Desolator is what, 4,200? No, it's like 3,900, 4,100. God damn it, where's Desolator? 4,100, I was right. Haha. Anyway, so this Weaver is just another 800 gold away from his Deso. So now's the time to push, Thundercats. Ho! Jump in. They're just doing a little bit of damage. Miss Burrow Strike, not going to be able to get that kill. Meanwhile, the Razor actually finds the Brewmaster here in the top lane. And they will be able to take down this tier 2 tower. Top 5, avoid engagements until they have that Desolator. It makes a world of difference for them. Instead, just split pushing them as much as possible. Probably the best idea for them right now. And tower does get denied there from the Weaver. They're going to be able to reveal Salen. Gets hexed up. Hopefully, Patso will be able to finish him off. Burrow Strike, Burrow Strike, Burrow Strike. Duro Salen doesn't even try and stun up Pat Soul, as they might have been able to pop him. Wraith King comes back right into nice use of the Yule Scepter there. Now they just need to kite around DK. Oh, big stun there. Ice Blast goes out. Pat Soul gets popped before he can get off the ultimate. Stun onto Mercy Please. DK decides against going for that kill. That's probably for the best. It's not worth risking the carry's life in exchange for a support kill. He's going to be picking up an Assault Cuirass here pretty soon. Just 600 gold for him. Them giving that Weaver kill was so big. He may have a... What? All right. I don't even know what this game is anymore. What's the best way to deal with the Radiants? Buy your own Radiants. Apparently that's the thought of the Weaver. Nahaz, I see you in chat, man. Please tell me what the, how often have we seen Radiance been built on Weaver? Because Radiance Weaver is like, I have Radiance by 20 minutes, I'm crushing the game. It's one of those items you see very rarely on a Weaver. But I suppose it's decently rare on the Wraith King as well. The Wraith King, I feel, makes a bit more sense.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I guess double life gaming is the way we're going to approach this. Shadow Shaman is going to be picked off as DK just tramples him. Puck runs up, orb to the right side. Salem trying to catch up. Will miss the burrow strike as he attempts once again to catch out the puck off of that phase shift. Very unlikely to be able to pull that off. Tier 2 will be going down in the top lane, but Tier 2 in the middle lane already being taken out by Reality with that Eye of the Storm.
Radiant's middle tower has
And it
fallen.
looks like they're just going to push uphill with the Shadow Shaman down for another 15 seconds. Why not? At the very least, they can force top 5 back to the base, and if they don't, Tier 3's going to... Alright. Tier 3 tower's already down. Now it's going to have the melee racks and the range racks both being threatened. The Eye of the Storm cleans up the range racks real quickly. Now the initiate comes in from Fly. And DK doesn't really care too much about it. The Radiant's been finished up with the Weaver, and he's going to be coming into this team fight. But they've already lost the range Rex as well as this Shadow Shaman. Puck's being forced to buy back here. And oh no, this Earth Panda, if it does go down, this will actually be the end of the room. As no, Storm Panda is up on the side. He'll be fine as the ultimate now runs out. Stun attempted. Phase Shift going to be able to dodge it, but a dieback here from the side of the Puck. Now the Puck. Pipe actually ready to change it. Fly's going to be popped real quickly, and this Weaver just cannot output enough damage in this team fight. Pipe just completely destroys this Radiance pickup.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Radiance literally does no damage for like 4 seconds. And there it is. GG going to be called, and we're going to be going into a game number 3. Game 1 involved time travel. Game 2, double Radiance.
Dire victory.
And who knows what Game 3 holds for us, but you guys stick around and we will find out together in just a few minutes.